It's a Thursday night, late night happy hour. I've got some sirens in the neighborhood. I saw a lot of cops out tonight. I wonder what was going on. A couple of cases of police at a park near my house, also gas station on the way home. So feels like a wild night out there. Everyone be careful. So stick with us here. Stay at home too. We're going to help you through it. Let's be careful tonight. I hear the sirens. Justin Watkins is here. Adam Hill is here. We've now changed the format. We will get to some of the legal items here in just a couple of minutes. But if you listened yesterday to Cofield and Company when Justin was on, Justin has now demanded that we start off every conversation with at least 5 minutes of golf talk. So,
well, I will say this.
Man loves his golf.
I will say this. I had never done mobile betting ever before. And we talked about it on the podcast. And Adam said, hey, man, you just got to go right down the street. In and out. You're good on the mobile sports app. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. Went in there, threw a couple hundred in the account. And one of the first things I bet on was the Masters. So my guy, I took Xander Schauffele.
Okay.
I took him to win it all, and he's looking good after round one. So I'm feeling pretty good there.
Adam, you fired up about your guy? Sushi fajita guy?
LT Grant?
Fuzzy Zeller's guy?
Yeah, he got off to a good start today. I was enjoying it.
Nice.
He's right in the mix. As long as he's in the mix Sunday, I'll be watching. Well,
yeah,
I won't be. I'll be at the Raiders game, but I'll be trying to watch.
I also took a more sinister bet. I bet against Patrick Reed finishing in the top 20 just because I don't like Patrick Reed. So I was like, yeah, exactly. So I, bet against him. So that one.
I thought you liked his choice of a Masters champion dinner.
What was his?
It was like a ridiculous steak. I think if I remember, like a cowboy steak.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to get the menu right now. It's not quite as good as the Tiger Woods sushi and fajitas with churros and sopapillas.
No, the milkshakes, man. The milkshakes
and milkshakes.
God, I should have gone out tonight and had some sushi and milkshakes. Maybe tomorrow.
No, you got to wait 2 weeks.
No. We got
no sushi and milkshakes for you.
We have some controversy coming up later on. There's some controversy coming up with the stay-at-home thing, so we'll definitely get into that. CJ Cards fan says he took Matsuyama at 30. J Miller Vegas is down with, or Miller J Vegas is down with Xander. I may actually watch the Masters tomorrow. I didn't get a chance to watch today.
That was great. Well, they didn't get to finish the whole first round, so they're still Justin Thomas is minus. He's in second place after only 10 holes, and they had to stop because of light. So he'll start tomorrow morning, like 4 a.m. our time, finish out his round, then play a second round. But he's on fire. So anybody who took Justin Thomas, who's at a good value to before it started, I think he was 15 or 20 to 1, which is crazy for how good he's been playing. So
I have trouble with golf. All I want to do is bet with my heart, not my head. So there's about 8 golfers who I think are complete weenies, and I would never bet on them.
I like that. Well, this is literally the first time I ever bet golf.
I like Patrick Reed. I would bet Patrick Reed. Like Justin Spieth, I would never bet.
Yeah. I'm with
you.
He's
a big bet.
Justin, wait for Sunday when you've got the live betting on like every hole. It's updated.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love the head-to-heads right in the pairings. Those are great. Those are so fun to bet on.
Oh,
you especially the coverage is so good right now that you can, between all the different apps and ESPN, you can pretty much watch whoever you want to watch as long as they're in the top 50.
Oh yeah.
So I fuck up Spieth's name every time. It's Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, what'd you say?
I said Justin. I mixed Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, and they're all annoying. They're all looking down their nose at the crowd, the help at the course, and they often have these jerk off, bloated ego caddies as well, trying to show.
But you like Patrick Reed?
Yeah, he's because he's a jerk off. Everyone knows he's a jerk off. Spieth's a jerk too. Justin Thomas is capable of being a jerk too. Bubba Watson is a jerk too. Like there are lots of jerks. But, Reed's like the king of them, and they've all turned on him. but he's true to himself. He is the fat ass pain in the ass. Ass.
So Tiger had the fun Masters dinner. Last year was the Patrick Reed dinner, and he went very plain, Caesar or wedge salad, followed by the prime cowboy ribeye, which I remember being just a giant ribeye.
Tons of fat on that sucker. Yeah.
Although it said you could get a mountain trout upon request if you didn't want to go with the steak.
But,
and then the sides were mac and cheese with a smoked Gouda and a white cheddar, creamed spinach, corn creme brulee, and a steamed broccoli, it's fairly straightforward. And then dessert, you could add either tiramisu, vanilla bean creme brulee, chocolate crunch, and praline cheesecake.
God damn. Bryson DeChambeau. Yeah, picking all of it. I need to get up to 270. I'll take all of it. And I forgot about.
Are you on the DeChambeau train? You with it or you against it?
Am I rooting for him? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't hate him. I don't know enough about it. If everyone else hates him, then I kind of like him. So, and I forgot about this element with Patrick Reed that his parents hate him. So he's kind of the Aaron Rodgers of golf.
It's true. I really only like
any kind of angst I'm down with.
I really only like Eldrick, and I like Dustin Johnson. He's got problems. I like that.
Oh yeah, he's a real person.
Yeah.
I like Dustin Johnson too, and he's actually been playing lights out too. I mean, he's going to be a contender. I like him.
Now, I've always said on the air, there's something about golf that drives me nuts, and a lot of it started with Fuzzy Zeller and his stupid racist stuff, and unfortunately, that reps way too many golfers. When Fuzzy was mad because Tiger was good and he was getting attention. The other thing is golf is often romanticized, and it kind of goes back to what I said 2 minutes ago. For 40 years before Tiger came along, the golf media was never honest about who the pricks were. And there were certainly pricks out there like Fuzzy Zeller. Now that we know who the pricks are, you can stop romanticizing golf like the gentleman's game. Now, there are a-holes in golf, just like there are in every other sport, every walk of life. Tell me if I'm overreacting to this, but for some reason this annoyed me. Shocker. A golf writer was talking about how cool it was that Larry Mize, his average drive, and Larry Mize is 65. His average drive was 247, and DeChambeau was 335. They shot the same score. Isn't that great? Isn't that what makes golf special? No. What do you think of that notion? And he said, here's why Augusta National is great. Larry Mize is the same age as Larry Bird. Now imagine an NBA Finals where Larry for one game could score 20 points. Could he do it for 4 days? No chance. But for a moment, a grandfather can dream.
Oh, I hate that. Also, I will say Bryson DeChambeau is in Justin Watkins range out on the drivers.
What are you talking about?
Justin's hitting 334 center of the fairway.
No, please.
We've seen all the practice paying off.
Yeah. I'm happy if I get a Larry Mize drive 247. I'm more than happy with that. I'll take that all day. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's over romanticized.
It was great when Tom Watson made the cut when he was 67. It's great.
How about this though? We were talking about this in my office. Me and my one of the attorneys at my office who wants to be on the show, but he has yet to show up in the comments and make his audition. But take this. Wouldn't it be? He said he doesn't like Justin Johnson because he's got the hot wife and he thinks he's got it all and it's too much, right? He's got too much going on, too good of a life. Good looking, tall dude, hits bombs, got a hot wife. And I was like, dude, isn't it best if you could be a wife of an athlete? Isn't golf the absolute best one to be the wife of? You're going to be chasing good weather all year round if you go on tour with them. You're going to be going to these great spots, eating in country clubs all day long, always in nice cities. It's got to be the best.
I mean, I'll go to the more kind of evil side of things. If you and your wife don't want to hang out and the wife wants to stay home, you're gone for 6 days, so the wife can do whatever she wants. If I were Dustin Johnson with Paulina Gretzky, I'm not accusing her of anything, but I'd be like, oh shit, she's going to do whatever she wants.
But that's true of any sport, any professional athlete. They're going to be gone for long periods of time.
Good point. Not as much in football. not as much in football. But yeah, if the wives of NBA football players are gone for like 3 days, 2.5 days. Golfers are gone for like 5. NBA players can go on road trips for like 2 weeks. Baseball players are the worst. But on the flip side, the wife, if she wants a side piece, she could do it. You have an open marriage, like A-Rod did.
But if you're married to like the guy who's like around the 20th best golfer in the world, you don't get harassed when you're out, but you're super rich still.
No, it's a good life. There's no doubt. And you're right. They're not often going to be in terrible weather.
Oh, you forgot about one key factor, though, Justin. You have to do it every week. There's no guaranteed contracts. If you start slumping, there's no money.
Well, that's what my buddy said. Is he's like, dude, they got to be head cases though at home. Like the game starts going off the rails a little bit, and they're just losing their shit at home all the time. Yeah,
talk to me. I was 7 over at the tournament. I didn't make the cut. Get the fuck away from me.
How'd you do? There's no juvie this week, okay? That's how I did. Like, all right.
What's great? Me yelling at the imaginary wife came a lot more natural than Adam. Like Adam's just not a mean person, so
no, I can't.
Flop there. Oh my God! Come on, give me a break.
Don't suck.
This is fantasy land here. Have you seen this woman? Give me a break. Sorry, piece. Yeah, she's a chubby chaser. She's with like 6'2", sculpted Dustin Johnson. We won't talk about all the the drugs you can handle. Yeah, no, I'm not a candidate for that one, but it's nice to dream, right? It's nice to dream.
I feel like they're going to be done soon.
My guess is they have a very understanding relationship because he knew what he married into, and I think she did too. They're both kind of wacky. They're both kind of crazy.
Yeah, but aren't they off the at this point? Like I feel like if that's what you bond over, then once that's gone, I feel like it becomes tough to have like a normal relationship.
You know what? I have no information on this because I'm kind of naive on who drug people are around me, so I don't know that I know a drug couple. And after they were both off, they were like, "This is miserable. I don't like you. I need to be high."
Yeah,
I'm not aware of this at all.
Well, and it's one thing if you're bonding over like weed, that's one thing. I mean, coke is like that's a lifestyle.
Jim, Derek. I mean, Jim, of course. Come on.
Yeah.
I fawned over her during the interview. It got kind of creepy. And I actually held back. Football game tonight. Justin, you didn't get to see all the excitement as Phillip Rivers led the Colts to a big victory.
Damn right.
Phillip Rivers was playing special teams?
He was solid, we'll say that. Yeah, Adam, what happened with the special teams?
I mean, Tennessee fell apart. They had a FedEx driver punting. I don't know much about his story, but
I thought someone was being a dick. They're like, "Oh, go get the FedEx uniform." I'm like, "Come on, man! The guy's a professional athlete. Like, don't root for him to be out of the league." Wait, that's true?
I think he literally showed up to the facility in his FedEx clothes. It was like delivering a package, and he's a punter. And they're like, "All right, let's see what you can do." And they brought him on the team, and then he was just a disaster. I mean, I don't think the block punt was his fault, but it was in his head maybe a little bit. Tennessee had the lead. They got a stop at the goal line on a 4th down play. And then they had to punt out of their own end zone, and he shanked it off the side of his foot for 17 yards.
That was terrible.
The FedEx guy didn't deliver. And then they got the ball back, had to punt again, and just a free rush right on him, blocked it for a touchdown. So they basically 2 punting miscues got him 14 points within like a minute and a half. And that was the game.
Okay. All right. And JVT's been saying all season he thinks the Titans are overrated. He keeps going back to the well in that one. So he got it tonight. There was no miracle comeback. Now, this one's weird. So Rivers looked like shit. I know numbers aren't everything, but he was 29 of 39 for over 300 yards. Did not throw an interception, which is an accomplishment for him.
Yeah.
I thought he looked fine. What was the problem?
I mean, I don't think he ever looks good just because of how ridiculous he has to throw the ball now.
Yeah.
But they didn't really do anything. I mean, they were just like, hey, let's just keep it at the line of scrimmage, get some first downs, and I think it was at some point the defense and special teams wins the game, and it did. And Frank Reich went for like 7 first downs on 4th.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Justin.
I was just gonna say, like everybody hates on Rivers because he looks like shit when he's throwing the ball, but even on the season, he's completed almost 70% of the passes. Got a QB rating of 92. I mean, for a team that's got an offensive line that's that good, he's gonna be all right.
He's a bridge quarterback until they decide on someone long term. He just passed Dan Marino for 5th on the all-time passing yards list, and I heard that, and I'm watching him, and then I don't know, I got a vibe that like Aikman was kind of hard on him, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Phillip Rivers is better than Troy Aikman ever was.
Fuck yeah!
And there are so many people who will not agree with that. Troy Aikman absolutely was a product of the Cowboys' powerhouse.
Yeah,
powerhouse. The guy was done by the time he was 34. I know it was concussion issues, but Phillip Rivers also has no mobility. He's coming up on 39 on December 8th, right? He had the longest consecutive start streak for a long time. He's a good quarterback. Now, is he a Hall of Famer? I don't think so, but nor is Eli Manning, but he's going to get in because he played in New York. And another guy, Rivers, is better than Eli Manning. You can look at all the numbers, except for Super Bowl wins, all the numbers. Eli Manning is a 500 quarterback. Like, in fact, he's 117 and 117 when he finished his career. That was his record. But I don't know. There's something that rubs me the wrong way with Aikman. Like, I think Aikman needs to be a little more humble. He pulled this bullshit. Was that during the offseason, Adam? You remember that? When after Mahomes had won the Super Bowl, and there was some talk about something happened, but I can't remember what it was. Mahomes, someone said something about Mahomes, and then Aikman's like, the rings. Like, bro, I keep saying Phillip Rivers. Patrick Mahomes, with that Cowboys team, they would have won like 9 straight Super Bowls. They would have never he would have carried Barry Switzer's lame ass. Do these guys not realize like what they're watching? You are a shell of like the best 8 guys now. Aikman?
Yeah, I think. Aikman's one of the most overrated. Everybody else got that echo?
Yeah,
that's pretty bad. Well, I think he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks out there, just because of the titles. But Rivers, if you believe in like the deep dive on sabermetrics and the advanced stats, there was a period of 4 years there where any advanced stat guru would have said Rivers was the best quarterback in the league for 4 straight years. His advanced stat numbers were off the chart, but they were wasted with North Turner's dumbass. We didn't do anything with it, I'm a big Rivers fan.
No, but I feel like Rivers also he's always going to be a victim of staying around too long, where he could have quit and been remembered. He was, trying to, I don't know if it's pad stats or he just was, needs money for all those, 75 kids that he has or wants to get a ring, whatever it is. He just stayed around too long. And now you're seeing a shell of a, NFL quarterback. And it's like, okay, well, this is who he is, but it's really not fair to him to judge him on this and not what he was.
Yeah, it's like judging Peyton Manning on his last year in Denver, right? Like,
Right.
They had to play around his deficiencies and to get it done. And yeah, the Colts are going to do that too, but he's serviceable. He's not a top 15 quarterback, but he's right around there.
Yeah. And he's adapted. I'll give him credit for that too, because week 1, he tried to play like he did last year, and it was a disaster. Yeah. Like they're a team. They need a caretaker quarterback. They have best defense in the league, really good special teams, very smart coach. Just don't turn the ball over. They need a guy that just not turn it over. And that's what he was week 1. Then he learned. He's like, okay, just play football, don't turn it over, and that's how we win.
Now, last year in week 1, Rivers tried to execute passes with his old expected zip. He doesn't have it. He can't throw outs 1,000 miles an hour or across the field. Like even tonight, I noticed Aikman got on him. They were, I don't know, at like the 7-yard line. I think it was a tight end got open in the flat, but you could see Rivers could see the cornerback was ready to jump the route, and Aikman's like, you got to throw that. Like he doesn't have the fastball anymore. And you guys get on him about a pick 6. He's actually being careful. This is the way he should play. Don't take risk when your offensive line is awesome. When healthy, the collection of running backs is good. The wide receivers are getting more healthy. Like caretaker, okay? He doesn't need to be freaking 8 years ago Phillip Rivers trying to throw it into every freaking tight spot.
Yeah, and he
Well,
did that against the Jaguars, and that's why they lost.
And I'll just say, even during Philip Rivers' prime, it's not like he had the biggest cannon. He always kind of had a somewhat funny motion, and the ball kind of came out of his hand a little bit weird. Yeah, it had a lot of loft on it, but he was, well, number one, he had some great pieces around him in Chargers in the early days. You know, Gates going up there and getting stuff. You had Vincent Jackson out there, you know, super tall receiver, just throw it up in the air and you go get it. So he's never like Jeff George arm. He never had that, but he was pretty smart with the football and had great QB ratings. And I agree with you. He's had to make an adjustment this year. And I think the Colts could go pretty far if he continues to manage the game.
I don't go to a lot of NFL games. And the last one that I can remember was in person, was actually a Chargers game. And I sat like real close to the field. And of course we picked the wrong goddamn side of the field at Qualcomm because there's a sunny side of the field. And it was like, it's literally like 40 degrees hotter. So sweating balls, but the Chargers blew it as they often do late. And they were facing the Dolphins, and watching Tannehill up close on the field, I was like, God damn, this guy, he has like every tool. He threw the ball so well, like deep balls, deep outs, like you could really see the skill. And man, the transformation for him, he is the model guy for every dude who comes into the league and they're like, hey, like they it's like down the road, is it the hope? And they're different guys, but if Drew Lock washes out or Sam Darnold washes out, like Tannehill's the guy if he's with the right coach and the way Tannehill has matured here. Like that's the role model for the quarterback who's not ready to go the first 6 years in the league. Dare to dream. Maybe you'll be a $25 million a year guy at some point.
It's also the standard for getting away from Adam Gase.
Yeah.
Like there's like an all-star team of players who were just held back by Adam Gase, and I think Tannehill's one of them. And I don't think he didn't have him his whole time there, but he was working with him, and I think he was on an upward trajectory, and then Gase just kind of ruined him, and then he figured it out when he left. And look at all the guys that happened to.
You're basically telling me this whole tank for Trevor thing is going to blow up my face. Like 3 years from now, Trevor Lawrence will be solid, and then Sam Darnold will be resurrected in New England, and the Patriots will be kicking ass and be like, God damn it!
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold will be. I think Sam Darnold's going to be really good when he gets away from the Jets. Really good.
Well, I didn't say throw him in the trash heap. My philosophy the whole time has been, you want to preserve his value and get something for him if you move him, if you do get the number one spot. So I don't think Darnold is trash. I just think Lawrence is better. And when there's a guy better, and if he's a once in 10 year guy, you got to take him.
I don't know what's going on, but apparently Jaden Hardy is just blowing up right now. Like Twitter's losing it. So he must be having a huge game in California. I guess he's playing.
Yeah, some of the top players are playing tonight, which we should mention. UNLV had a hell of a night today, or hell of a day today. They got the official signing from Zion Collins, who's a point guard from Bishop Gorman, top 50 guy, and then a guy that I guess he's tight with, a 6'8" forward, Arthur Kaluma, picked UNLV today over Arizona State, Arizona, Kansas. Who else was in the mix? Oklahoma, Syracuse. Yep. Yeah. So really good get. I mean, those are some building blocks, and it's that next level up where they're getting 4-star guys. So it's really, really freaking cool. So what else sports wise do I need to discuss? What else sports wise? What else did I have to open the show here? Oh, you know what I wanted to throw out there? Adam. So Rap Sheet had the tweet, Rappaport, Ingold, one of the best at his position, personal bodyguard to running back Josh Jacobs, suffered 2 fractured ribs on Sunday, but somehow he plans to play through the injury this week versus the Broncos. Was Ingold supposed to say that? That doesn't seem like a smart thing to say. Like when the league hears that, are they going to be like, wait, what? He's got fractured ribs.
Well, I would say if you mean the league, I would say when the opponent hears it, they're going right after him. And just, I think it's one of those things, like having communicated with him before that went public, he asked that it not get out. So I knew that, but he was like, I don't want that out. And that's totally understandable.
But it's out.
I know. I'm saying before it was out. It's totally understandable because, like I said, I think now you're a target. And so we kind of respected his wishes to not have it out there. But somebody gave it out to the national press, which happens. That's how stories get out. It's going to be in the Gemma said Jaden had 39 tonight. It's pretty good. So yeah, it's I don't think he wants it out there. I don't necessarily know that the whole team wanted it out there, but somebody did, and it got out.
All right.
So we'll see how. I mean, he does plan on playing.
Yeah.
I imagine now that every single Broncos defender is tackling him in the ribs and trying to get him to fumble, and we'll see how that works.
So, Justin, we talked about a potential shutdown, what the state needs to do. I think all three of us are like, not so convinced we need to be going backwards. The stay-at-home 2 thing is out. I saw some numbers from yesterday. Test positivity in Nevada, 7-day average is 26.28%.
Oh my God.
Using the state method, 13.8%. What's the difference between those two?
So Nevada Independent, that's what you're looking at there. They do their test method based on the number of people tested, individuals tested versus test positivity. Doesn't matter how many times that individual is tested negative before they test positive. It's just a 1-for-1. Whereas the state method counts the number of tests. So you can make arguments for both, right? I mean, if you get tested, 6 times once a month over 6 months, and you only test positive the last time, under the Nevada Independence method, you're 1-for-1. Under the state's method, you're 1-for-6.
By the way, do you know if I count? Since it's like a private company?
I don't know I guess I don't know if you can answer that, but I bet you they have to report it. Yeah, you probably count.
But also it's out there. It's public. It was on Hard Knocks, so it's out. It's BioReference is the name of the company. They have basically a lab at every single NFL team facility, but they actually have a couple of labs that they send all the results to. So they take the test here, and the results are processed in LA, as far as I know. So I guess that would be a question: does it count LA? Or does it count California? Does it count Nevada? Or does it not count at all? I don't have any idea.
I bet you it counts.
I'll be crossing 100 next week.
100 tests.
So you're like 0 for 100.
Well,
you're keeping that test positivity rate down low.
I'll have 3 different days next week where I have 2 tests. It's a UFC pay-per-view week.
Look at you, just showing off. Thank God no one in Nevada needs tests desperately.
Well, they opened the Texas Station facility again. Anybody can get tested.
Oh, they did. Good. I like that one.
Yeah.
People should go get tested. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, they said it's a 24-hour turnaround on results now, even at the big sites. So that's cool.
Adam, you're taking your test in the mouth, down the throat, and the nose.
No, UFC does mouth, and the Raiders it's 4 swabs in each nostril.
God, that's a nightmare. I've only taken 1 test. It was positive. No, I was negative about 2 months ago, and I felt so bad for the woman because you did it yourself. Like it was in the car. She hands you the little Q-tips, and I have a big schnoz, but it's sensitive, and I just started sneezing like crazy, and I'm like, oh Christ, oh my God, I have to sneeze. She's backing up from the car. I'm like, all right, what do I do?
He's got a gun.
Adam, you don't sneeze like crazy?
No.
God, man, you are trained, man.
Oh yeah, it's completely second nature. It's pretty ridiculous at this point.
So the stay-at-home 2. I haven't been out much. Obviously, I've gone out and done the show, which we probably should stay at home and not do the show on the road. But I wonder how it's going to go here, if it's going to work. One thing I worry about, and we talked about this 2 days ago, Justin, on this late night show, is politicians better toe the line and freaking do the same thing. Like if they tell the public to not go out and then they're out and about, it defeats the whole purpose. I wonder if most politicians are smart enough to manage it correctly.
You'd think so. I mean, you'd think their team would be. Yeah, but absolutely. If you get up there and lecture the public and then don't follow your own lecture, and we've already seen examples of this, right? What was it? The mayor of Chicago? Which one was it? Yeah, Mayor of Chicago. His wife was out partying.
No.
I'm going to have a talk.
the mayor of Chicago is a female. She was the one who got caught getting a haircut, and she's like, I got to get a haircut. Like, no, you don't. Well, none of us can get fucking haircuts. You don't get one.
No. Who was the fucking mayor whose wife was out at a big old party, and then maybe it was a goddamn
it was a small town. It was a small town.
Yeah.
And she got like a ticket. She got like a ticket or something.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Like I understand where you're coming from, and I guess I can agree with it to some extent. But like, and shutting down places seems like it's obnoxious. But like, it's not like in the case, I believe the one in Chicago was one where it was a closed salon, right? And you're going to get a haircut when the place is closed, which I think is fine. It is the message, though, as you're saying. Like, not everybody can close down a salon to go get it done. But I see people like coming out and they say, "Well, you did this or you did this," and you're like, "Yeah, I went to a restaurant and I sat in a corner away from everybody else. Like, I was very smart about it."
But
So
right
that's
now,
different
right now, is that okay? If we're told to stay at home, should we stay at home?
I mean, I am for the most part. I'm pretty much staying home.
Right.
And when you're allowed to go out, I've been going out, but staying, at a table in the corner or like away from everybody and not going near anybody and those kind of things. But like, it's this outrage of like, you say everybody should stay home, and then you went to the store. Like, yeah, I had to go buy things for dinner. Like, it kind of sucked. But I went and did it, and like there is like different, like people are saying don't go to bars and congregate around a bunch of people, which is not the same as going to a restaurant and sitting very far away from everybody or sitting outside not near anybody. Like, those are different things, and I think it's really important to differentiate what things are being done that aren't safe and what things are safe, not just lump everybody into the same category all the time.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is everybody thinks they're making smart decisions, and clearly some people aren't making smart decisions, right? Ultimately, what it comes down to is there's people who have symptoms, or there's fucking people who have tested positive that know they're fucking positive and go out and do shit without masks and shit because they're like, this is what I got isn't that bad. I don't even have any symptoms, like whatever. So I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. So you just can't, clearly you can't rely on everybody to do the right thing. Although I will say, like, other than restaurants, like when I'm out in the public, man, mask usage is spot on from my perspective. Everybody's got their mask. Every once in a while you'll see somebody go, oh shit, kind of run back out to the car. They forgot their mask, but they're not, I haven't seen anybody blow up about it. I haven't seen anybody have a big what to do. So the mask wearing seems to be pretty damn good, with the exception of restaurants, man. I've sat down and eaten in a restaurant twice. They were both at golf courses and where there was like just a huge amount of space in between.
Right.
But I've gone to go sit down in restaurants a couple other times, and I got in there and I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm eating here, man. This is crazy. Not, everybody's got their mask down, of course, because they're eating and drinking the whole time. But there's just every other table's full, and there's just no way. I just don't feel comfortable. Just too much, too many people.
AJ, where have you seen lots of people not wearing masks? So I'm curious because like Justin, most of the places I've gone out to, everyone is masked up and following it. So I mentioned politicians. You got to lead by example. You can't tell people to stay at home and then be out and about. Your thoughts on this one that was up on social media? I saw this one when I was driving home. Do we need to zoom in on this? It says our governor told us to stay home for 2 weeks, 2 days ago. And then this Hafez Persian cuisine, which is on Spring Mountain, has a picture here of Governor Sisolak just 2 hours ago at the time. Governor Sisolak, what's the deal, bro? Come on now.
Again, I mean, it's clearly not a smart look, right? It's not the smartest thing to do. There's no doubt about it. After you've given such an impassioned speech just 2 days ago, but to Adam's point, I don't know. There's a lot of food at that table. Maybe it's all for him. I don't know, but I don't see any other people around. He may be sitting off in the corner. They may be closed. I don't know. They might have just done a meal for him. I don't know what the deal is. So I'm going to reserve judgment a little bit, but from a purely PR perspective, not great.
Adam, what do you think, buddy?
I mean, to me, that's what we want, right? He's out with a mask, not near anybody. He's setting a good example to me. Um, I, I get the argument. I do. But he didn't close everything. He didn't demand people stay home. He asked, "Hey, if you can stay home, do it." So it probably would be a better look to not do it. But he also is not setting an example. If we're not going to get pictures of him every night at home, if he's at home, and
Right.
yet
But he did
if he's
say
out,
he did say order out, order for delivery if you can. I mean, he did say that.
right? But I mean, but again, I would rather have a picture of him, you know, maintaining distance and wearing a mask and being safe than not see him for 2 weeks and not have any idea what he's doing. I mean, I think that sets a better example. There is examples that could be set. I don't know. I don't know what the right thing is. Could you get somebody to come over and take a photo of you ordering delivery and getting it in? I mean, at that point, then you're like, well, now somebody's at your house that is taking a photo. Like, it's really tough.
Oh,
Listen,
clearly this photo wasn't taken by the Sisolak team. It was taken by the owner of the restaurant, right? Like
right.
they said he went to go eat there, and they're like, "Hey, can we have a picture?" You can actually even see upon close up of the one where he's sitting down. Sisolak doesn't look exactly thrilled about the idea that he's getting this photo, and it's like,
Yeah.
he's like, "Ah, fuck." I don't know. So,
All right.
but I agree with you. Like let's patronize the businesses to the best of our ability. If you can find smart ways to do it, then let's do it. Let's try to keep the economy going. We're at we're trying to walk an impossible balance beam on this thing of keeping the economy going and keeping everybody safe. And I think really importantly, getting to a point where we can get the schools back open for kids to go back to school. We're going on a year. These kids not seeing their friends and not interacting and not getting real instruction and education. And we've already seen the test results are reflecting that basically there has been no retention from the previous grade. So we got to do something about that.
So some of the reaction was, that's the problem with our leaders. Do as I say, not as I do. Treason said this isn't the first time Sisolak has done something like this. It just gives idiots more ammo. D. Walker says just do what you ask others to do. CJ Cards fans concerned, so can the other guy back up 6 feet? So when I saw this, I looked at it and I was like, do we know that this picture was taken today?
Yeah, it's another question.
So I screenshotted it. Go try to find the tweet now.
Yeah, it's gone.
Been deleted.
Which leads me to think that, yeah, it was. it was posted contemporaneously.
It's been deleted.
No, that's not who sent the tweet.
No, he's the one that accused it of being. He's saying that one's been deleted.
Oh, not the restaurant tweet?
No,
I didn't check because I'm not even sure that the restaurant picture is a tweet. It might be from Instagram. Does that look more like Instagram to you, Adam, or Facebook?
Scroll down. I think it's maybe Facebook. Yeah.
So I'll go look again. I know I looked right before we came on because I was like, I wonder if what the reaction is. This is really bad, right?
See.
That's a really bad look. If 2 days after he says stay at home and then he's out eating at a restaurant, so I get the point from the tweeter, but
yeah, it looks deleted.
I mean, sometimes I'll delete stuff if I have like a spelling error and I'll repost it.
So it looks deleted from the restaurant side?
No, from the call out side.
Yeah. Well, I'll look for it later on the restaurant. So
no, it's still up.
said,
It's Facebook. It's still up.
So the restaurant side is.
Yeah.
Okay. Restaurant post. All right. Yeah, Jim says it's on the Facebook.
Yeah, 11 hours ago it says posted,
Right.
but yeah, you don't know when it
when
actually
was it taken?
occurred. Yeah.
Yep. Got to be careful when you're fired up in hopes that a narrative is there.
Well, he wouldn't have been having breakfast at that place, right? So it wouldn't have been today.
I saw this at I don't know 5:30 this evening.
No, I'm saying if
11
they
hours ago would have been 11 o'clock, 11 a.m.
Oh, you're saying the picture was posted. Okay, so that's another thing at 11 a.m. Does that place have breakfast?
I don't think so.
Or actually, what is that right? That's
No, it would have been like 10 a.m.
It would have been 10 a.m.
because it's 11 from now with 10:43. So when he was in there, yeah, it would have been.
Yep. Treason. Question everything you see on social media.
Yep.
I do.
I'll say this though: the post on Facebook, the comments are just like, pretty a lot of vitriol on it, and I haven't seen the restaurant weigh in one way or the other about it not being recent, or they're just letting their comments roll. It just go crazy.
By the way, speaking of Facebook, as we start to move into some of the legal stuff here, apparently people at Facebook or employees at Facebook leaked that Mark Zuckerberg told an all-staff meeting that Steve Bannon had not violated enough policies to be suspended from Facebook, and this was after he suggested lopping off the head of Dr. Fauci. What are the policies that you can actually violate?
I mean, clearly he violated the policy. It's I guess what they're saying is there hasn't been enough times of him violating the policies for them to kick him off, right? Like they're not going to do it based on a single instance. There needs to be more than one is how I took what he was saying. But I think that there's got to be a sliding scale, right? It's like a severity versus numerosity, if it's super severe, it can only take one. If it's not super severe, but it's pervasive and constant, and then after a certain number, you can get kicked off too. But yeah, I don't envy the position of the social media, platforms for trying to figure this stuff out. There's no win situation.
I don't think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and we played the video real quick of Bannon saying, people need to be beheaded and put on spikes, their heads on spikes at the White House. Who is actually protected? Like, we know if you publicly say, hey, I want to do something harmful to the president. Do you know, like, how far down the ladder in government can you make, where you can make threats? Like, can I do it to Sisolak? Can I do it to a senator? Can I do it to a representative? Is Fauci protected under this? Can I say I'd like to put a hammer through Cocaine Mitch's head? I'm guessing I can't. Now, I don't want to do that. But, like, I wonder, like, who has protection and who doesn't?
Well, we all have the same protections, actually. Yeah. I mean, the threat.
I guess, am I misstating it that the Secret Service has certain people because that's what you always hear, like, hey, you threaten the president, all of a sudden Secret Service is going to be at the door. I just wonder what sort of governmental protections a guy like Fauci has.
Yeah, no, I mean, we all have the same protections. We have it is a crime to threaten somebody and take a step towards the completion of that threat, right? So there has to be some substantial step towards the act itself for it to be actionable. If I threaten you right now and say, I'm going to fucking punch you in the face, well, that's physically impossible, right? It's not a real threat. Now, if I keep you on my phone and I stay on there and I'm like, I'm in the car, I'm driving over to your house right now, here's the cross streets, I'm getting there, I'm parking right now. Well, now it's actionable, right? If I start talking about stuff in the future, like, hey, next week when I come do the show, I'm going to bring a bat with me, I'm going to bash your head in. There's no immediate threat there. That's not actionable. It's not criminal. It's too far into the future. and I haven't taken any steps to complete it. So it's a sort of a odd line to draw, you know, and it's not going to be the same case to case, but it's a substantial step is sort of the language that the courts use. You must take a substantial step towards completing the crime, which would be the battery, right? I'm threatening to hurt you.
All right.
If you go buy a bat, if you're like, next time I see you, I'm going to hit you with a bat, and then you go buy a bat, is that a step?
That's funny because there's like case laws on both of those points about purchasing a weapon and the whole next time I see you. We don't know if we're ever going to see each other again, right?
Right.
And
But
so
aren't
the court actually had to like,
wouldn't it be a threat? Wouldn't it be a threat that now I have to live in fear that you're going to see me at some point at all times?
yeah, that's the argument. The court had to dive down this like ridiculous rabbit hole of like, well, he said next time I see him, do we know that they would ever see each other again? Was it happenstance, or do they routinely come into contact with each other every day? You know, do they go to school together where they know they're going to see each other every day? Or do these, you know, was this just randomly on the side of the road in a road rage? Hey, next time I see you, I don't even know who you are. So very unlikely I'm going to see you again. I mean, obviously there is a point at which the words and threats can be so pervasive that they themselves can be harassment and can be a crime. You can become a nuisance yourself, but the threat itself must arise to the level of you believing you have fear of being an immediate bodily harm, right? Like immediate bodily harm. The next time I see you shit don't work. Because what the court recognizes is that once the interaction diffuses, there's like a cool down period. And so
right, but the person who's threatened doesn't have a cool down period. If for the rest of my life, every street I walk down, I got to be like, all right, is this the time? Like, is this when it's happening?
And that's going to change if he gets charged criminally.
Yeah, I would think so.
Gets a misdemeanor and some probation. That's going to change. Now he's going to want to kick your ass even more.
Yeah, what about a restraining order?
For you think these guys care about restraining orders? Now,
at least I have some recourse.
You have recourse, the same recourse either way. If he comes and beats your ass, your recourse is the same.
Okay, I'm not actually thinking this is happening. I'm just saying, like, you live in a place where you have to walk to work every day.
Yeah,
and they're like, one day when you're walking to work, like, I'm just going to jump out. I'm going to hurt, whatever, hit you with a bat, whatever. And then and now every day when I walk to work, they actually are showing up, and they're like, oh, not today. You're like, okay.
Yeah, you could get a restraining order in that situation, but the person's not going to be charged with the crime. Okay? So there's a restraining order that you can put in place, and then when they violate the restraining order, it would in fact be a crime. So you can go to court and say, hey, these fucking assholes threatened me. They said they're going to get a bat, bash it in my head. The next day when I went to work, they had the bat in their hands. The next day they were doing this. Next day they were doing this. I fear for my life. And you can get a restraining order. And then if they violate the restraining order, if they stay, like, the restraining order will be very specific. You can't stand around here. You can't be within 1,000 yards of the petitioner. And if you do, petitioner calls, hey, somebody's violating the restraining order. They send cops. Boom, you get charged. But in the situation where I gave the example of Steve, where I'm talking shit to him right now, not going to rise to the level of a restraining order. You're on mute.
Muted?
Okay. We move on to an interesting story in the NFL. You knew there was something here when a PR lady from the Texans got fired, and Adam Schefter decided to tweet out.
If they violate the restraiting order, if they stay.
No, we got double volume. Hold on. I'll get that fixed. We move on to an interesting story in the NFL.
What is going on?
You knew there was something here when
amazing.
So big story in the NFL. You knew there was something happening. I'll say it again. That's the third time I said it. When a PR person gets fired and Adam Schefter sends out a tweet and is like, great person. Okay. Like he's kind of sticking his beak in there. J.J. Watt tweeted about the lady. Right?
Yeah.
So Adam, what do you know about this story? Because I've seen more than a few rumors about it. The reason that the Texans, when they sent out a release saying she was done, and by the way, she was like the 2017 PR person of the year in the National Football League. So unless she's had some recent issues and all of a sudden her job performance has fallen off, it's kind of shocking that she's been fired. The Texans release actually said that the team told Schefter said the team told her that she was no longer a cultural fit. So Adam, what do you think is happening here? And then let's get the reaction from Justin, and then the legal end of it, because it did come out earlier today that this woman has sought out representation. She's hired a lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, you would think if she was fired for any reason that her performance must have really fallen off a cliff the last couple of years. The rumors out there are that she was tweeting politically tinged posts during the election,
right?
And that changed kind of the view of her and the organization. They moved on, but it's also very possible, because I kind of believe that, like when you are changing coaches, sometimes like, okay, maybe they won't work anymore, but they haven't hired a new coach. So I think that's what you look at and say, well, the new coach might want his own person in there, because it is a role that has to work very closely with the coach, but they haven't hired a new coach yet. So that's kind of
Didn't
weird.
they fire their GM though too? No,
same guy.
He was a GM. Bill O'Brien was a GM. So my response to this is oftentimes when Justin explains your rights as an employee, what's the term? What is Nevada? What's the terminology? It's pretty easy. I can't remember it though.
Right to work state. Okay,
so generally the employer can pretty much do whatever it wants. Is that the case here? Like, hey, you know what? She doesn't fit my culture. I'm the owner. Like old man Bob McNair, who passed away, who said, hey, the inmates are running the asylum. If we let guys protest, which was that seemed racial, and a lot of people got offended by that. If the McNair kids think the same thing, you know what? We see all this pro-Biden thing. We're a Trump organization. Get the fuck out. Are they fine?
Yeah, I think so.
That's I don't know. Yeah. We started talking about yesterday. I'm like, I don't know if now she may have a lot more, right? She may have a lot more in this case of how what the atmosphere was like, and maybe she's got a case. But just based on that, I mean, can we all be fired for tweets that the company finds offensive?
Fuck yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, in the state of Nevada, and I'm just guessing. I have never practiced law in the state of Texas. I am just guessing that Texas is a right to work state. And basically, you can fire anybody for any reason or no reason at all, so long as the reason isn't against a protected class. So if she's being fired because she's a woman, that's a problem, right? If she's being fired based on her ethnicity, problem. Religion, problem. But based on her political leanings, totally okay. Yeah, no, it's not a protected class. Right? Like if I don't want, you're my PR person. Like I wouldn't want my head of PR talking any fucking politics at all, either side. Like we're in the fucking NFL here, man. Like I gotta appeal to everybody. We are batting back enough shit that comes at us from everything that's going on in the world. I don't need you creating more shit for us to handle. So like I think that it's fine based on just not knowing anything of the situation. If it's purely based on political tweets and leanings, totally okay. I don't think it's surprising that she retained an attorney because there could be all kinds of things in play here. She might have a non-compete. She might have a non-disclosure. She might have a non-disparagement clause in the agreement. And you're going to want to have an attorney take a look at this and say, okay, what are my rights? Can I go get a job in the NFL? Am I prohibited because of non-compete? What do I get to do here? Can I tell my side of the story, but I have this non-disparagement? You got to get some legal guidance there. I don't think it necessarily means she's going to bring a lawsuit against the Texans. Although she may. I don't know. She might have all kinds of dirt on them. I don't know.
I mean, it seems like Texas is the right to work state. I looked it up. So I mean, that just means you can be fired for anything at all, right? I mean, that's as you mentioned, if it's not a protected class, because like you could even make a rule at work and saying, hey, no political tweets on this side. If you want to tweet politically about the other side, that's fine. You can be very pro-Trump as much as you want. You just can't be pro the other side. You can even do that.
Yep.
Because I mean, I understand. Like I'm not allowed to tweet about political things. Believe it or not, I have to keep it very. If you notice, like my election breakdowns were very just data driven. They weren't anything on either side. But like it's that goes for both sides, and I kind of understand why you wouldn't really be able to do political tweets. But if they came to and said to us, "Hey, you can only tweet pro things about this side," that would be kind of a line to me. But they'd be allowed to do it.
They'd be allowed to do it. Yeah. I mean, if they said you got to vote for,
Trump, yeah, so
that's a problem.
When we were a caucus state, we are not allowed to caucus.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit. That's not enforceable.
But what if in I think Nevada was only caucus on the Democratic side, right? And it was still a primary on the Republican side.
It was technically called a caucus, but they operated it more like a primary. You could go vote. You didn't actually have to separate and all that stuff. It was a little different, but yeah.
But if they
it acted like a primary where you filled out a ballot, nobody saw it, and you put it in a box.
So I was not allowed to caucus as a member of the Democratic Party. We weren't allowed to do that. But if it's a primary, we can. So could that be an issue if you said like, hey, you can only vote this way?
It's a fucking issue from the moment they say you can't caucus. They can't do that. You can't limit your ability to vote.
Well, I mean, because when it's a true caucus, you're publicly supporting a candidate.
Doesn't matter. You have the right to vote, man. They can't fucking take that away.
I think they would clarify caucusing is not voting.
It's the exercise of your right to vote. I mean, in the terms that they want to put the vote, that is your exercising of it.
Damn, we got to fight.
I think that'd be a big problem. Yeah,
2024, we got to fight. Let's do it.
No, we're not really caucusing. We're not really caucusing anymore, anyway. So,
all right.
All mail all the time. Let's just do it.
Totally.
So, real interesting with the president. There's so many. See you, Cam Fletcher. There's so many angles on how President Trump has spoken on social media, right? Because he's been quiet in terms of coming out and actually saying something. But he's been a terror on social media. What do you guys think of his new launched attack that started about a week ago on Fox News? This is fascinating.
Well, I mean, I just don't like giving it too much air, especially. I mean, discussing it is fine,
right.
But it's clear what he's doing. I mean, he's starting his own network, so he's attacking Fox News to draw people away from them to hate them, so that they can go watch his network when it starts.
Let me read his tweet from this morning, Justin. Fox News daytime ratings. This is President Trump. Fox News daytime ratings have completely collapsed. Weekend daytime even worse in caps. Very sad to watch this happen. But they forgot what made them successful, what got them there. They forgot the golden goose. Biggest difference between 2016 and 2016 election and 2020 was Fox News. So at the end there, he's blaming Fox News for him losing the election. Axios reports a source with detailed knowledge of Trump's intentions. Axios is saying that President Trump has told his friends, Adam just got to this, that he wants to start a digital media company to clobber Fox News. Quote, he plans to wreck Fox, no doubt about it.
Okay.
I love that he thinks he's the golden goose, like that he's the toxic byproduct of that network, not the golden goose. Like he's the remnants of what happens if that organization continues to run unchecked. So, but whatever, that's way biased of me. I fucking hate Fox News.
He's the manure. He's the manure that was spit out by Fox News.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I think I think he's gonna start another news network or a TV network, and there's gonna be like 7 of them on the conservative side, each one more crazy than the other, and Fox News is gonna seen as like the sane one, and whatever. No stopping it now.
It's gonna be a real, it's gonna be a real sight to try to watch the reconciliation of the Republican Party that has completely disintegrated into Trumpism and then actual conservative thinking, which are completely at odds. And like, how do they come back together? I mean, I hope they don't, because that makes elections in the future much easier to win for the Democrats. But it's going to be tough to get those two sides back seeing the same way.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side. I hope the Republican Party of my childhood comes back. Like I want to see, like I really do. After having served, I really believe there's just like 80% or maybe 60% of America that we're within boundaries that we probably agree 9 times out of 10 on most things that are actually coming in front of the government. And I think those 60% of people want things to get done that are beneficial and can agree on how to get them done after some debate and negotiations and concessions, a little bit of concessions from each side. And if we have a broken down Republican Party that's beholden to the extreme parts of their party, and the same holds true for the Democrats, although I think Biden's proof that the middling Democrats are doing just fine. They're still there. They're still champions for their party. And there's a lot of middling Democrats that are still elected to office. If we have a broken down Republican Party, I just don't think we get back to that 60% where a lot of the stuff's getting done that's beneficial to the country.
All right. I want to move on to Riverboat Ron in Florida.
Oh, wait, real quick.
AJ
Real is having a chat with your brother in there, and that's fucking bullshit for me anyway. My taxes went up on the Trump tax cut. If you do any professional services, if you're a dentist, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're an accountant, and you did the same sort of numbers year over year or did better, I guarantee you your taxes went up. Your effective tax rate. I don't give a shit about the tax break. I'll tell you what do I actually pay versus what I actually made. Mine went up 3% under the tax cut. Anyway, go ahead.
Phony tax cut anyway.
Ron DeSantis in Florida would like to have the use of the public to try to control looters. This seems to be dangerous. This seems to be like the for you older people, like the approve the Charles Bronsons of the world, right? Remember, he had some great vigilante movies. I love them. Death Wish, some of my favorite movies. But yeah, headline: Florida's DeSantis moves to allow citizens to shoot looters, rioters targeting businesses. Critics argue the law would allow for armed citizens to become vigilantes, like Charles Bronson. Will this happen? Will this happen? And Riverboat Ron has control of Florida. Who's going to stop him?
Courts, I guess. Hopefully I don't know what the breakdown of their legislature is, but hopefully it's, I don't know, sensible. I
almost throwing your hands up. Like, I hope it doesn't happen. Be sensible, please.
Yeah, I think it would be challenged in court, and there's no way. I think it's very unlikely. I'm not going to say no way.
I'll bring this back on you when this passes. I will bring this back.
I know. I don't. I'll just say I think it's very unlikely that it would pass in a way that could be constitutional without it being completely watered down. Because it would have to be so specific as to the definitions of what looters and rioters are to allow for somebody to use violence. That I think it would be so watered down that it would be ineffective, or if they write it as it's stated and they just went for the gusto, I think it would be struck down as unconstitutional because it's ambiguous and vague. So, and I hope it doesn't happen. But I'm not making a prediction. I don't feel like that good about it. Like I felt good about Biden winning Nevada by 50,000, which is still going to happen. Really close. Really close. I'm going to be really close by the end of it.
Adam, God.
I'm more concerned with Ron DeSantis' hiring practices. Have you guys been following this story?
We have it on the list. You got it. You got the details.
Yeah. I mean, I know about the story.
I'll read you one of the headlines. When Governor DeSantis needed to hire a data analyst, his staff picked a little-known Ohio sports blogger / Uber driver whose only relevant experience is spreading harmful conspiracy theories. I mean, there's some opinion in this about COVID-19 on the internet.
So this guy is a guy that's very well known in the Ohio State, realm. You know how around UNLV we have some of these people too they're trying to be bloggers. They try to, put out news and blog posts and cover teams, but they don't really have a job. They just they're like, I cover this team. And he's been run out of every single blog that covers Ohio State essentially before COVID. I mean, this is way in the past few years because he's just like insane. He's got like anger problems. He attacks people. He also like some of his blogs are just completely out of control. So like the blog world up there is like, oh, this guy. So then when COVID came around, he became a COVID-19 hoaxer and started spreading conspiracy theories about COVID online. And it like coming up with these ridiculous studies that weren't even real studies. He would just put them out. Like earlier we talked about, hey, you can't believe everything online. He would just put these things out. He was one of these, just like I saw the Elon Musk tweet circulating in today, where back in March he predicted there'd be 0 cases by the end of April. But we look at him like some genius for some reason. He was one of those guys. He's one of these, hydroxychloroquine still works. Like he's one of these guys that just spreads all this craziness. He said the actual death count is around 6,000. Like all of this crazy stuff. And Ron DeSantis has hired him as a COVID blogger or COVID researcher, excuse me. Now, the governor's office came out and said, no. We just hired him as a regular researcher. He's not focused primarily on COVID. Like you did. He's an Uber driver. He's not a data scientist. Why are you hiring for any data role? Like you saw him quoted on Fox News. Ron DeSantis retweets his nonsense all the time. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna hire this guy. He's got 0 experience in data research. This is nuts.
This morning.
I don't know, man. Sounds like the worst Uber ride ever.
Yeah.
Look at that guy.
Well, like serious question. It's not like a serious question. It's a serious question. How is the public protected from bad hires like this? You just have carte blanche as an elected official just to pay anyone with our money?
Recalls, right? That's basically it. I mean, if there's an abuse of the office in a way where, like, let's say an elected official's like, I don't know, hires his daughter and his son-in-law and taxpayers' money, and then his whole family's on the payroll somehow, like then you could recall in Nevada anyway. You could recall anybody that's to elected office for abuse of the office. Yep.
Yeah. You could even push the backup mayor to back down.
Yeah.
Not going to mention the name.
Yes.
Rhymes with Rochelle Miori.
Yeah. Mayor Pro Tem.
Backup mayor.
Yes. Since Justin, you clearly were referencing the White House there. Has anybody watched the Comey movie on Showtime?
No.
Good.
I mean, it's first of all, it's based on Comey's book, so it's really, really, really pro Comey. Like it basically makes him look like a hero, which is fine because you do kind of understand at least from his perspective, the situation that he was in, and you do kind of feel like just awful for him. Like he was just, again, it's from his perspective, trying to do the right thing, and he just had no idea what the right thing was, and he's like, I'm screwed either way. And then he had to go over to his family, and his family is just like super anti-Trump, and like, you're not really gonna do this, are you, Dad? Like, fuck you. Like, what are you doing? It's great to see like that dynamic that was at play for the whole thing. But the funny things to me, like the guy that plays Trump is just so miserable and just so he's an idiot and just angry and like it's great to see how Trump comes across in this movie. But just my favorite thing above all, Reince Priebus is made out to look like basically just the biggest idiot that has ever walked the earth with no understanding of anything. It's what they did to him it's mean. Like, you're like, dude,
it made Adam feel bad, which is
I was like, I always thought he was a moron, but like he comes across like he has zero intellect whatsoever. Just like I don't know how he even functions as a human being. You're like, he can't be this dumb. He can't. It was good though. I enjoyed it.
I don't know. I'm kind of done with the whole Comey thing. I've had too much of it.
Can I show you my video of the week? Go ahead, Justin, finish up.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I don't know that you're going to get it, and maybe this is something that everyone's seen. I saw it. Someone had tweeted it last night. It's like it looks like it's just some. I don't think it's cable access because the guests are actually really good. I don't know who this woman is, but like her delivery, I so wish I could do this on radio.
She's a legend. She's a legend in Nebraska.
Okay, have you seen this?
Yes, it's fantastic. She
fucking amazing.
It's back before, like when celebrities actually had to promote things, they had to go like across the country on these tours, and like she is the person. I think it's Nebraska. It's Nebraska or Oklahoma. I think it's Nebraska though, and she's like the person. So she has every A-list celebrity ever, and she's maybe the worst interviewer I've ever seen.
No, she's great.
She's not.
What are you talking about? She's fucking awesome.
Okay, let's she cuts to the chase, and it's like exactly what we would want to ask everyone. She fucking goes right after people, and they're like, "What?" Okay, let me punch it up as we built it up.
She's the best. What the fuck are you talking about, Adam?
No, she's not.
It made you uncomfortable. You wish you could do this.
It's true.
You're jealous. All right, I'll stop it every once in a while. We'll try to keep it down so that we don't.
Like this ultra casual look to it.
I love it. Look at that. That's the other thing. When you watch it. Because of COVID now, you're like, oh my God, look at what the fuck. Like your legs are touching. Back up.
Let's let her rip this morning. You got to work with Richard Burton in The Tempest.
Yes, I did.
And now he's dead.
She does a lot of that. Like her delivery. Like Adam and I, our delivery is bad. Mine's really bad. We'll let and now he's dead.
Yes. Do you know who his dad is? His dad, you watch Bonanza. I'm sure you watch the reruns of Bonanza. Where's the sheriff on
Kurt Russell and not having this shit. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but you missed. You got to listen to the close. Like, there's either no research or she wanted the reaction. Ready?
Russell, is he still alive, Kurt?
Like, is he still alive?
That's what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah. Okay, that's weak. All right, here's Gene Hackman.
You've done some brilliant pictures. You've done some stinkers.
Gene Hackman's like,
she's leaning right in.
See you, Robert.
See you, Robert.
I'm guessing it's from early '80s, but I'm not
she's
exactly.
She's still alive.
Oh wow, is she still doing stuff?
I think she's still working.
If I believe that we would get anyone off our top 10 hot list, we need to get her. All right, let's keep going.
Really?
What happened to Heaven's Gate, Sam? What happened to Bosom Buddies?
We were.
Did you see the?
Oh, this is where she doesn't she say? I guess she's like, Tom Selleck, you blew it.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Have you seen it yet?
Yes, I did.
You know,
wonderful movie.
Do you know that he turned down the role of Indiana? I heard that you turned down the role.
I wouldn't turn it down.
Do you have any regrets about not going into the series for MASH?
No.
No? They've all made a fortune, Elliot. Then that little movie you did with him, Wild River, what was one of his few flops. He looks evil in many ways. Can the camera come in and take a close-up and look at these eyes? Have you ever seen eyes like this? If you look at them real closely, what do you see? Look. Do you see that ring around the outer edge of the eye? What is that?
I don't know. It's an old family trait. My father had those. It's a ring around my moon.
Well, it makes a most fascinating look. You really look terrific.
Thank you.
Are you into yoga or exercising?
No, I exercise.
Right? You might just whip one out.
I might just whip one out, and there I am.
Listen, you don't know to whom you are speaking because you and I go back a few years. But you weren't a model. No. What size are you?
I mean, that one's awesome because what a fucking lunatic Scott Baio's turned into.
True.
Yeah.
Did he actually look at his dick? Is that what? Like, what was he doing? Was he trying to measure his waist? What was he
No,
like?
I think he was trying to say I'm
He's
medium.
like, I don't know. You're looking at me. I'm like 5'4". I don't know. What are you?
This lady, this is my idol.
How do you kiss underwater without bubbles coming out of your nose and mouth? Let me ask you, how would you feel as a mother if your daughter were involved with your former love? Personally, how would you react to something like that? You know how invaluable your voice has been to you over the years.
No, baby, tell me.
Perfect.
Oh, God.
I mean,
We were
can we
in
do
that.
that? You're a new father. Can we do that?
Of course we can.
We can.
It was
Let's
based
try it
on
again because that
affection.
was on the left side. It works. It works. It works. You don't consider yourself a great actor, do you?
I do like that. Savalas is like, yeah, whatever, baby. I'll roll with it. You know, we'll kiss a couple times, but Elliot Gould just like, what the fuck? Holy shit! Now there better be a documentary on her, or we need a movie or some kind of HBO, Showtime, Netflix, whatever, Hulu special. Who the fuck is this lady? She's awesome.
Somebody posted like the full interviews on YouTube now.
Oh, is that right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you think is Ari being serious here?
Oh no.
Hey, I mean that's a long time ago. And Ari Skew's very young. He's very immature.
I mean, I feel like he's one people should know. There's some in there I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. Who is he?
Oh, Telly Savalas?
I don't know.
Kojak?
Wow.
Mm-mm.
No, he's awesome, man. He's a legend.
Didn't he have like a lollipop in his mouth usually?
Yeah, he did a lollipop. Yeah, I guess I forget that I'm much older than you guys. Yeah, but Manny, what the fuck, Manny? Jay Lawrence told you, man. It's Telly Savalas. Go back and watch some Kojaks.
What's that about?
Wait, who does Ari think he is? He said he looks like a guest we had.
Look,
who does he think he is?
Jay Lawrence is like fucking Kojak. Kojak was a detective. It was like one of the 5,000 detective and cop shows.
But I'm just intrigued. Who in boxing does Ari think that Telly Savalas is?
I don't know, man.
He said Manny something.
I mean, this is kind of lame. Do I need to go through each person? Did you beyond Telly Savalas? Did you know everyone?
No, I knew everybody.
I think there's a couple I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know the lady actually. The former lover date the daughter. I don't know her.
You know what? I didn't either. So we'll have to look that up.
When basically she's like, you were in this movie with this guy. It was his only bomb. Yeah. So basically, it's your fault.
That's dynamite. All right, I want to look her up. All right, do we go? Do we finish light or heavy?
He thought that Telly Savalas was Joe Cortez.
Oh yeah, I guess he kind of looks like him a little bit. So what do you want to do?
To Miller J.
Go out on a light note. We'll go out on a light note.
All right. What you got?
Let me punch this up here real quick. Is it already up there? There it is. This is serious business for Adam, and we started yelling at Xavier Pope, our guest today, because he tries to come strong and everything. We're like, no, bro. One, are you a Jeopardy fan? We talked to you about this yesterday.
No, you didn't talk to me about it yesterday. I appreciate Jeopardy for what it was, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Nah.
So they're trying to find the new co-host. He's passed away, so there's not going to be a co-host. They're trying to find the new host for Trebek. I cannot believe Ken Jennings.
No, he's not going to get it.
Big favorite.
Adam, do you like it?
Yeah, I think it would be good. It's like
what?
Yeah, just like in baseball or basketball, you give those jobs to the old players. Just like Costanza said, it's not fair, but that's what happens.
Oh man, I would love to see Neil Patrick Harris get it. It'd be fucking awesome.
I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm Team Tyson.
And I think Ryan Seacrest, if he would be willing to do it, would be good at it. But he's not. He's got too much other shit going on. He don't need that shit. Wolf Blitzer. That's funny.
He would interrupt every single answer.
Al Michaels, dude, it's not gonna be somebody super old. It's not gonna be anybody old.
No,
Nah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is the right choice.
I already made my
If they do Ken Jennings, that's fucking lame.
And also, Jane Lynch is already doing Weakest Link. She can't do Jeopardy also.
Oh, well, and freaking, what did they have on there? Steve Harvey's doing Family Feud, and he's fucking great at it.
No, I mean, no. I'm not accepting this. It's way too scripted now.
What?
Family Feud?
Family Feud, it's the same. They set up a question that it has intentionally like offensive or sexual answer, and then somebody actually gives that answer, and Steve Harvey's like, "Whoa!" Like, no, you gave that. You set them up to say that. You can't be surprised when they say it, and it's every fucking episode. Enough. Yeah,
I don't
no,
watch enough Family Feud to get upset with it like that. I just catch it on TikTok, the flip throughs. It's perfect for TikTok,
It is. You're right.
What about DJT? It'd be a prime spot. He'd be in America's homes every night. What about Trump? Does he have the time to do it? Is he willing to work that much?
Would they move it to the Trump News Network?
Ooh, wow.
If they do Ken Jennings, nobody's going to watch that shit. He's got no personality.
Oh, he's got more personality than you think.
Well, that's a problem. I shouldn't have to think about whether or not he's got personality.
We don't want personality. This is the problem I had with Xavier. We don't want personality on the show. Read the fucking questions and let the people be the stars of the show. We don't need some big elaborate production.
Yeah.
Do your job. Read.
Trebek had personality, though.
He worked his way into it. He was comfortable enough after 30 years. He worked his way into it. We don't need somebody jumping in. And this is the problem I had with Xavier when he's recommending Leslie Jones, who hosts she hosts the Leslie Jones Show. It's called Supermarket Sweep, but it's the Leslie Jones Show of just over the top being Leslie Jones. I get it. I like her. I'm a fan. But it's not about you. If I want to watch your show, I'll watch your stand-up, or I'll watch SNL when you're on there or something. This is for Supermarket Sweep.
Do you watch Jeopardy regularly?
Yes.
Oh, you're a big fan?
Oh, yes.
He's a junkie. He's a devotee. Yes.
Oh, well, then I defer to you.
We had James Holzhauer on, and Adam was like shitting himself. He turned into Chris Farley with the. Remember the time you got the answer right?
Remember when you did this in Double Jeopardy?
That was cool.
It was
so cool.
Oh well, then I'm going to stay out of the debate. I'm going to leave it to the people who are fans. I don't watch the show. I don't care.
Yeah.
That was actually an interview that I started getting mad because I was like, all right, cut it out, Adam, with the love fest. But then I realized I tried to speed up Holzhauer. Like I wanted to bring some energy to it. And I was like, okay, this isn't going to work either. So I don't know what to do.
No, he doesn't have, he would not be a good host.
He's his own man.
Yeah.
Adam would be a good host. Little snide remarks slipped in there every now and then, making people feel like fucking idiots.
That's the thing. But you have to do it in subtle fashion. You can't be obnoxious and mock them. The zingers have to be sneaky.
I'm sorry, no. It's a Pythagorean theorem. Of course.
No, that was not good. Yeah, that's not Trebek. Trebek was a master. Appreciate the genius that he was. All right, everybody, we're back tomorrow. Back to I don't even know it's a normal time, but 10:30. The legend Dave Koken will be in. I think we'll have John Von Tobel in, but big picks night on Friday.